There are individuals who internally experience a strange sensation in which they feel somehow connected to others. This goes far beyond the physical and transcends words, as if it were something more spiritual. At least 80% of people claim to have lived something like this, spending their days searching for an explanation that goes far beyond a mere feeling or intuition. Because even though, in many cases, it may not be sentimental, it seems like we are called by that other part. Some people have described the sensation as if a red thread connects them to another, as if they were destined to coincide at certain points, sometimes very special and at an exact time. Don't worry, because that feeling is not something your mind has invented to play a trick on you. It is something real and has an explanation, one that I am going to share with you today. In doing so, you will open yourself up to more knowledge and understanding of the wonderful journey of souls. To do this, we must first talk about a woman who has become an icon when it comes to discussing souls and their journey on Earth. We are talking about the hypnotherapist and specialist in past life regressions named Dolores Cannon. This woman has delved into deep research on souls and the experiences they go through in this earthly plane, not to mention that she has dared to go a little further and delve into the great power that each of us holds within. The research she has conducted on the subject has been profound and obliges us to become aware of the innate power within us, one that is capable of moving everything in a perfect way to align with our process. Dolores Cannon, like other specialists in the field, has explained how a person's reality is a reflection of their interior, something that is still difficult for many individuals to believe, but has been asserted as a reality by many others. Although we often view the reality of our days as something that requires hard work if we want to achieve our ideal life, the truth is that the necessary work to turn everything in your life into the image of your greatest desires is only an internal process. Once our being aligns in thought, feeling, and action, our reality begins to transform in an incredible way, causing everything around us to change. This is quite easy to detect. We just need to pause for a minute to recall a point where we feel that everything in our lives has started to change suddenly and without stopping, even to give us a chance to assimilate the avalanche of transformations that are coming our way. Once you have fixed that moment in your mind, whether it's good or bad, you must determine what thoughts were occupying your mind. That is, what is the common thread among all of them during that period of change? This is where you will realize how those thoughts you were developing and maintaining within you were in line with what was changing in your life. And it's not that the external was affecting you, rather, your being was transforming its reality into something more in tune with what it felt. This peculiar event is called manifestation and is widely known by those who have delved into the soul's journey because, necessarily, when talking about this, we must talk about manifestation. This is something that often happens without the person even knowing its meaning or what it's about. But, as you might expect, when a person becomes aware of their power and what their thoughts are inevitably going to transform, that's when things begin to take a different turn. But just as we manifest every aspect of our reality, including people and situations, others do too. And if you haven't thought about it yet, you can be part of that reality or experience that someone else is manifesting. Many times, this can go completely unnoticed. There are cases where it doesn't even remotely cross our minds that someone else is putting the energy of their being into us, or attracting a circumstance related to our person. However, there are people who have developed their senses and souls more, so they quickly perceive the signals and messages that the soul sends them. Each of our souls possesses a profound knowledge of what surrounds it, what happens beyond the simple perception of the human eye, and how energy flows around us. But the fact that some of us perceive these things more easily doesn't mean that this ability is exclusive to a small number of people. On the contrary, thanks to the knowledge obtained from Dolores Cannon's research, it is much easier for us to understand these phenomena today. This This woman has managed to identify 7 signs that could indicate that we are the manifestation of another individual's energy, a knowledge that I am going to share with you today. So without further delays, let's delve into these points so that from today onwards, we can all determine if we are that personification of someone else's thoughts, feelings, and actions. Number 1. Sudden thoughts about that person. It is quite common at times to be immersed in our obligations or affairs, and, without explanation or connection, have thoughts about that specific person appear. This can even lead us to stop and wonder why we are thinking about someone who has no relation to what we are doing or what is occupying us. Rather than assuming that your mind is only bringing isolated memories to your consciousness, it is important to understand and accept that everything has a reason for being. Even your mind works in an exact and organized way, being one of the great channels that bring us information from the deepest corners of our soul. The mind even acquires the ability to be a point of connection with divinity, which through our thoughts sends us small guides about what is coming into our lives and helps us navigate through it in a better way. Think of a clean and aligned mind with the Creator as a compass guiding your being, but also think of it as a device that sends you information and signals about what happens beyond mere perception. That's why it's not at all strange that your thoughts alert you to what is attracting you. You not only attract others with your vibration, but also with your thoughts and the energy they emit. Like a magnet, that person is pulling you into their reality at this exact moment and place, and your being perceives it even if your conscious mind doesn't fully understand it. However, just as your surroundings inform you of what is happening, your soul notifies you of what is in motion. Some people see it in a more romantic way and describe these situations as moments when a person can't stop thinking about you, and that's why you feel that mental attraction. However, the truth is that a person can be manifesting you in their life without necessarily having romantic interest in you. Reality is nothing more than a manifestation of our internal state. Just as we design every tiny detail and thing from our minds and inner selves, we also design and manifest the kind of people who show up in our lives. Even when you feel that something is not right, or that the people around you are not the most suitable, you must understand that everything has come from within you and your creative power. It's not that you were born and shaped this way because you were thought of by someone else. Rather, your personality, energy, and way of acting align with what the person needs to attract into their life. Our role in other people's lives can be much more significant than we think, and it's precisely in these moments when we become aware that nothing happens by chance and no one arrives by accident. Everything emanates from our inner selves. So the next time you feel thoughts from another person entering your mind in a fluid and sudden way, pause and remember that that individual may be manifesting you from the depths of their being. Number 2. Unexpected feelings in development. When we find ourselves in the presence of a person who has been manifesting us in their reality, something very peculiar tends to happen. We suddenly start experiencing many feelings of love and affection for that person. As I mentioned before, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone with a physical or romantic interest in us, but due to the connection created, their being begins to express these feelings. We must remember that our minds and inner selves are not just spaces for self-talk. They transcend much beyond the simple and create spiritual bonds and relationships that go beyond mere understanding. It's not surprising, then, to think that when a person pulls us like a magnet into their reality, our minds begin to receive information from the soul of that being, establishing a connection that goes far beyond mere optics and the ordinary. The connection of these souls in the midst of this energetic exchange can translate into feelings of affection and love, all without the involvement of more superficial or ordinary aspects. Dolores Cannon meticulously detailed this phenomenon in her research, where she explained how these souls, even when very distant, feel a calling from one another, as if our inner selves had the ability to connect us with others far beyond the limitations of the physical plane. No matter how many kilometers or barriers separate these two souls, from the moment one individual begins to focus their energy on manifesting the other, a connection is established. This leads to an energy exchange that makes them recognize each other when they meet. The person seeking to manifest, you may not even know you yet, but they will undoubtedly recognize each other instantly upon meeting, and this feeling toward each other will begin to develop. In those individuals who have developed their spiritual side, their souls, and have focused on their internal work, it is more common for these feelings to develop deeply and intensely. The intense way in which those who are more attuned to energies and messages from their souls experience these sensations has completely fascinated Dolores Cannon and everyone who has dared to explore and embrace the knowledge she has left us. So, if you start to perceive these strange feelings and that inner force telling you that you and the other person are connected beyond the physical, it may be time to explore the possibility of being a manifestation of their inner self. Number 3. Sudden and drastic mood swings. Something that has been crucial in the knowledge Dolores Cannon compiled in her research is her ability as a hypnotherapist, which has helped her delve into how souls carry memories, often unconsciously, throughout their current lives. Even without being consciously aware of this, individuals can feel something incredible when encountering people they have crossed paths with in past lives. It's the way each soul can store these memories and identify the person in front of them, even if this life is the first time they have met. That causes them to experience mood swings, which for many may seem unjustified. However, even if these are bouts of sudden and deep feelings, their explanation lies in the information that their being stores about all their journeys on this earthly plane. There are cases of people who can't help but feel profound anger toward another person without even exchanging a word. And this feeling may stem from an unfriendly encounter in another life. There have also been documented cases of situations where a person, upon meeting another, experiences a strong desire to protect and nurture them, as if they were a beloved parent or family member. While the genesis of this can be of various types, one thing is certain: these are not emotions that have come out of nowhere. This should not be seen as an act of madness or even as explosive emotions in terms of what one feels. We simply need to understand that our being is complex, deep, and perfect, and that everything in us has an explanation, often going beyond the simple. That's why Dolores Cannon considers these drastic changes as another sign by which we can detect that we are the manifestation of the other person. They stem from those experiences and information received deep within us, processed in a fantastic way by our souls. Understanding our attitudes towards a specific person is not always easy. However, if everything that has happened with that person so far aligns with the described signs, it's possible that it's all a product of that manifestation and needs to be examined more thoroughly. Living this experience can be a complete roller coaster for those who are more spiritually perceptive, but it doesn't imply that something is wrong or not going the way it should. Number 4. The constant feeling of experiencing déjà vu. Many of you have probably experienced déjà vu in the past, or at least have a slight notion of what it involves, as it is a fairly common phenomenon. However, today we are going to explore it as an indicator of this manifestation process. When we talk about feeling like in a déjà vu, we refer to that impression that arises in us of having already lived what we are currently doing. In other words, it feels like a repetition in time of something already done. There are various factors that can lead you to feel this way, as the sensation can be triggered by various things, such as a drink, a meal, a conversation, or even a person. Those who are the product of another's manifestation tend to experience this repeatedly when with that person. This seems fascinating to many and sparks curiosity, while others might be frightened by the way their soul seems prepared and trained to face that moment again. This situation can also find its explanation in the vast amount of information and memories that our souls carry from all the lives lived on this earthly plane. These memories can give us small flashes of past experiences. These flashes are represented by this feeling, inviting you to delve into the depths of your being, to discover the true reasons behind your daily attitudes and those of situations that present themselves, even if they are quite familiar or previously experienced. From another perspective, it is fascinating to think about the amount of knowledge we could access from our soul and its memories. With just a small part of its wisdom, we navigate life optimally, always following our inner voice. Our inner selves react powerfully to the energy emanating from the person who has manifested us, slightly opening the door to access those memories. Therefore, it's not uncommon to see how the feeling of déjà vu becomes more recurrent. This phenomenon aligns perfectly with what Dolores Cannon exposed regarding past lives and the experiences we had in them, carrying memories in our souls. It encourages us to explore and discard all kinds of skepticism. We should explore and understand déjà vu as a sign of a deeper connection between ourselves and another soul, one that has manifested your presence in their life. This leaves the latent possibility that, just as in this life, you may have crossed paths in a past life. Number 5. It makes you feel good. Perhaps talking about someone making you feel good seems quite normal, as there are people who simply make you feel more comfortable than others. However, this goes far beyond that. And this feeling of well-being should be seen at this point as a symptom of the high-level vibrations being emanated towards us, because these vibrations play a key role in the manifestation process. Just as we all harbour creative power, we must also be prepared and willing to put it into action. It's not as simple as making a wish and expecting things to magically appear. Just as we can do everything, move and transform every little detail of our reality, we must also be in a condition to move such energies. Only high vibrational frequencies are capable of manifesting positive things. Indeed, any energy you emit will have a direct impact and influence on reality and the things that are part of your life in this material plane. That's why Dolores Cannon warns about these energies in the manifestation process. But when we are seeking to manifest something that is truly good and positive, the entire being must be aligned with those high vibrational frequencies and the intended goal. This is how an individual begins to emanate a large amount of positive energy that will affect both you and the universe. The connection created between your being and the other person causes their energy to reach you and pull you strongly towards them. It also creates a sense of well-being and comfort that is entirely different from what you get from other things, situations, and experiences. For some, it is something that cannot be explained, and only those who have opened their souls to experience it in the deepest way can understand. As mentioned earlier, when a person manifests you into their life, this encounter and process can generate so many emotions and sensations that make it seem like a true roller coaster. Both love and affection, as well as compassion, move the fibre of each of the two parties in a complete and beautiful way, where there is only room for the generation of a great feeling of well-being and happiness. Dolores Cannon maintains that the foundation of manifestation is the handling of high-frequency energies, generated by actions that a person takes, producing only vibrations of this kind. One of these actions is undoubtedly gratitude because it aligns us with our purpose and eases every part of the process that leads us to that desired end. Gratitude not only charges the soul with positive energies, but also shares them with the person being manifested. Viewing it from a slightly more romantic or emotional aspect, being with the person who has manifested, you can feel like being in a safe and familiar environment where you feel sheltered and comfortable. Number 6. Different presences in your dreams. When we talk about different presences, we don't mean that many beings will visit you during your hours of sleep. Instead, it refers to the quality described by Dolores Cannon, in which the person manifesting you appears in various forms in your dreams. Once again, it's awe-inspiring to consider the capabilities of our inner selves. Much has been said about dreams and the door they open for individuals prepared to travel between different spiritual realms. But what else can happen in dreams? As Dolores Cannon stated, our subconscious is connected to these realms, serving as a channel to receive messages from higher dimensions. According to the researcher, this space is also suitable for the soul seeking to manifest itself to be present for us, meaning that its energy becomes apparent to us. This can happen in various ways. Some perceive it as a characteristic and invisible presence during this dream state, identifying it only through the sensations it generates in our being during this unconscious state. And although it's challenging to describe that presence in the midst of a dream, the truth is that more perceptive individuals manage to detect when that energy recurrently makes itself known in their dreams. Others, thanks to the strong energy wielded by the person attempting to manifest, have even expressed seeing them in their dreams repeatedly, even without knowing that person. They can vividly visualize images of the person and their face. This unfolds in a way that seems like the other soul is announcing its work to become present, and for you to be a part of the reality it lives. Hence, if you are experiencing this, you should have no doubt that you are the manifestation sought to be materialized by another individual. The world of dreams has always been fascinating for humanity, yet few fully embrace the tremendous possibilities we have from that state of unconsciousness if we know how to connect on a more spiritual level. Number 7. The internal spiritual connection awakens. On previous occasions, it has been discussed how the internal work we carry out has repercussions on everything that surrounds us, as well as on souls that are very distant from us. But what happens when that soul attempting to manifest itself, and which has a connection with us as a result, is undertaking this arduous task? To manifest a reality or even a person, it is necessary for the individual to undergo a profound internal process, one that causes them to emit energies radiating towards the universe and, in this case, towards our soul. If that connection with the spiritual has not been felt, it will encourage the person to seek it. The intense manner in which the person experiences this process, becoming the physical and tangible manifestation of the other's energy, will lead them to explore their own connection with the spiritual and delve into the waters of knowledge. According to Dolores Cannon's description, individuals experiencing these manifestations may feel compelled to engage in practices such as meditation or seek more information on spiritual topics. They might even develop curiosity about soul journeys and their own experiences in past lives. So if you suddenly start experiencing these signs and they are accompanied by a newfound desire to explore a more spiritual path and work on your inner self, what may be happening in your life could be the result of these manifestation attempts. It could also be the outcome of a manifestation where another soul, with a deep connection to you, has brought you into their reality. Now, armed with this knowledge, I pose the question: have you ever felt this way about someone? Because what you are going through might have a logical explanation, one that I'm glad to have provided if that's the case. This is a fascinating topic with thousands of testimonials, and if you have one to share, I encourage you to drop it in the comments section. It will be exciting to read all of them, and feel free to let me know if there's any specific topic you'd like to address. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here, we'll continue sharing knowledge, teachings, and anecdotes. I'll see you very soon with a new edition. Until then, I look forward to seeing you in this shared space.